Hello and welcome to Mr. Garrison's U.S. History class. This is an online class. It's going to be online the entire semester. So, I think this is going to be a new experience for all of us. I know that we had some experience with online learning in the spring of last semester. This will be a little bit different. The expectations are going to be a little bit higher because we have had that experience in the past, but it is also going to be a learning experience for both you and I. Today we're going to kind of go over the syllabus and I'm going to let you know kind of what the expectations are for this class. But please bear in mind that as we progress through this semester, that we're going to learn and we're going to learn, what works and what doesn't work. And we might kind of change things as we go. So if you ever have any questions or if you ever have any concerns, please feel free to reach out to me and be aware that I will listen to those concerns and we can make adjustments as necessary. So what is this class? Well, this class is a survey class of U.S. history. We are going to start with the Washington administration. We'll move all the way through industrialization. So, we're going to cover Jacksonian democracy. We'll cover the plight of the Native Americans. We're going to cover the Civil War and Reconstruction, slavery, and industrialization, the labor movement, and so on and so forth. We're going to discuss important aspects of social, political, military, and economic achievements, and really kind of get into what makes America America. So, as far as the class is concerned, your grades will be compromised based on your notes and the summaries of your notes. Notes is going to be a big part of this class. So, most of the information that you're going to need for the assessments in this class are going to come from the notes. And so you'll get videos like this one where you can follow along with the notes. You'll also get copies of the PowerPoints. All of that will be posted on the Google Classroom website. There'll be discussion questions that you guys will be expected to answer. You can expect probably one or two different discussion questions that'll have to be posted to the Google Classroom website every week. You'll get traditional homework assignments, articles that you'll have to answer questions or summarize. Things of that nature. You can probably expect one or two of those a week as well. Those can be done either using Google Docs and have them shared with me or emailed to me, whichever is more convenient for you. There will be one paper that you'll have to write in this class. It will be a pseudo research paper based on DBQs or document-based questions. That's going to be the big assignment. That paper, it's going to be very difficult to pass this class without doing that paper. Don't worry about that too much. We're going to walk you through it. It's going to be a process. You'll have plenty of time to work on it. But that's going to be a big part of this classroom grade. And then tests and a final. And so the structure of those tests, some of them will be just straight essay. Some of them might be, a Google form or something along those lines. But we're going to kind of experiment with that as we go. And then there will also be a final. The final will be cumulative, which means it will cover everything that we cover this entire semester. That's why it's so important that you keep up with your notes and that you keep a good notebook for this class. The grading scale, same as pretty much everybody. It's a 90, 80, 70, 60 scale. This class is a graduation requirement, so you are going to need to pass this class to graduate high school. So, like I said, you make sure you take your notes. The keys to success in this class, it's not difficult. It's really not difficult. If you take good notes, do your homework, and do this paper that you're going to have to do within class, you should have no problem doing well in the class. If you don't turn in the homework and if you don't write this paper, it will be very difficult to be able to pass this class. So if you just do the work, the daily work, which you'll have plenty of time to do, I'll give you plenty of time for that. You should be successful in this class. So this is the textbook that we'll be using in this class. The good thing about this textbook is it is completely online. So, you shouldn't have gotten one from the bookstore when you registered. So if right now you're freaking out like, oh my God, I didn't get that book, don't worry about it. The address, the web address to get access to this book is right there on your screen. hmhco.com/1. And then the username, the school's already kind of set all that up for you. So the username is your school email address, and then the password is your school email password. So if you don't know either of those things, you want to get in contact with the library, and they can set you up with your school email and your school email password. We will be utilizing this. This is the information in this book is not something necessarily we're going to be testing over, but there will be several homework assignments that are going to come straight out of this book. So you need to make sure that you have access to it. Now, I've logged onto it recently, and the hmhco.com/1 website is down for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because there's so many people using the online resources now, but if you just go to hmhco.com, get rid of the backslash and the one, you can log into it from there using the same school email address and school email password. So if you have trouble logging onto it one way, try it the other way, and then it should work. If you still have trouble, you can shoot me an email, and we can, or you could shoot the help page on the website an email as well, and we can work you through it. All right, so the next most important thing we got to talk about is the best way to contact me. This class is not going to be in a Zoom format. So all of the assignments are going to be posted on Google Classroom website. You're going to be able to access those and then do them essentially on your own time. Each assignment and each lesson will have a deadline that you have to view it by. So if it's notes, you need to make sure that you listen to the lecture, take your notes, and have that done by the next day. Homework assignments might be due the next day or due within a couple days. You'll have to just reference the Google Classroom website. So there's no particular time you necessarily need to log in. So because of that, if you have questions, contacting me becomes super important. So my office hours are 8:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon, just your standard school day. And that's every single day that we're supposed to be in school. So that doesn't, include Thanksgiving and holidays and such. But if you email me or contact me on Google Hangouts during that time period, I will make every attempt to respond to you within 30 minutes. So you should be able to get a response really quickly. Most of the time, it won't take 30 minutes. But because I am teaching all online classes this semester, normally I have about 85 students. This year, I have about 225. So if everybody tries to reach out to me at the same time, it might take me half an hour to get to you. But I promise you, I will respond as quick as I can. My email address is right there. If you take a look, it's rgarrison@bths201.org. That's the absolute best way to get a hold of me. So if you have a question about a homework assignment, or you can't log on to Google Classroom or onto the textbooks website, shoot me an email. And I'm always checking that. That's the way to get a hold of me. That I'll be sure to see. I can also be contacted through Google Hangout. You can when you get onto your school Google email account. If you go down to the Hangout section, you can either search for Rob Garrison or my email address, and I'll pop up. Sometimes I don't see those. I turn my notifications on my phone to be able to catch those, but you kids like to use that Google Hangouts thing, and I get so many of them that it gets kind of lost in the shuffle sometimes. Email is the best way to get a hold of me. Google Hangouts is the next best way to get a hold of me. And like I said, I'll do my best to get back to you within 30 minutes. Generally speaking, if you contact me on a non-work day, I will respond, but it might take me more time. I'm not as vigilant about checking my email then. So, what's this class going to look like as far as homework assignments, lessons, and all of that? Well, like I said before, Google Classroom is going to be absolutely essential. What I would suggest to you is, when the school will upload your information into my Google Classroom website, so you should already be loaded in by the time you're watching this video. What I would suggest is go to the Google Classroom webpage and then turn on the notifications for my class and for Google Classroom in general, because that'll let you know anytime I update or change information, because everything that you need to do for this class will be done through that website. Very rarely will I send out just a general email, with the exception of like the introduction email in the beginning of this class. So make sure you're constantly monitoring Google Classroom. I will attempt to post the day's lesson every day at or before 8:30 in the morning. That way you have the most amount of time to complete the assignment for that day. There will be something for you to do every school day. Generally speaking, it will take you somewhere between 40 minutes to the full 55 minutes to accomplish what you need to accomplish for this class. If you keep up with it every day, it really shouldn't be too much of a problem. The workload won't be too intense. But if you fall behind, things can get really difficult really quick. So make sure you're checking every single day. Make sure you take good notes for this class. Like I said before, the tests will be based on the information from the notes. Most of the notes will be presented to you in the same format that this video is. So, make sure you're watching those videos. Make sure you're taking good notes. Even though, when I post the video, I will also post the accompanying PowerPoint. I would suggest to you that most of you, depending on what kind of learner you are, you need to have a notebook for this class, and you need to be taking notes along with the videos. Just printing out the PowerPoints, that's not going to get you the recall that you'll need for the tests later on down the line. Homework assignments, generally you can expect 2 or 3 homework assignments a week. That can range, anywhere from, a summary of the notes to, asking some discussion questions from the lecture, or reading an article, or document-based questions, anything along those lines. So I'm going to try and make that as similar to the type of homework assignments that you would get if you were actually in class with me. Now, I want to be clear here. For these homework assignments, you need to help me keep these assignments organized. The one thing I learned from last semester in the spring is a lot of people want to type out a Google form and then just share it. And maybe it has your last name on it, or your email address on it, or just your first name on it. That's not enough for me to keep everything organized, to make sure everybody's getting their grades entered into the grade book. So for every single homework assignment that you submit to me, whether it's through a Google Doc, a Google form, or an email, a Word document through an email, you need to make sure you have several things on it. Your full name, first and last name. If you submit a Google Doc and it's got your email address, well, like I said, I have over 220 students this semester, I'm not going to be able to find you in the grade book through your email address. That's just not practical use of my time. And so I won't look at it if you don't have your first and last name. The other thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to pay attention to which section of US history you are. Now, I will post on the Google Classroom website which section you are. So if you don't see it in Skyward where it says, U.S. History 4, U.S. History 6, or whatever, uh, you need to make sure you're looking at the Google Classroom website to see which section you're in. So at the top of the paper, you need to have your first and last name and U.S. history, and then the section number of that U.S. history. Like I said, a normal class for me when we're in school is somewhere around 22 to 28 students. For these online classes, it's 40. And so I'm just not going to be able to memorize everybody's name. That's just not a thing that's going to be practical. And so if you want to make sure that your grades get in the grade book, you need to have your first and last name and the section, preferably in the top left corner of the page. And so that way I can, I can find that information. Grades, the assignments will be posted on the Google Classroom website in the stream section. So I'm not going to assign them as assignments through Google Classroom. I'm just going to post them within the stream on Google Classroom. That's why you need to make sure you're checking it every day. When I grade it, I'm going to grade it and put it immediately into Tyler Sys. So if you're checking your grades. I generally do a pretty good job of keeping up with the grades. I post them right away. You'll need to check that within Sys. I will do my best to give you feedback on those grades. But for some assignments, if you get an 8 out of 10 and you need to understand why, you feel free to email me, and I will let you know that information. So that pretty much sums it up for today. If you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to reach out at rgarrison@bths201.org. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. I really look forward to this semester. I think that it can be a success as long as you keep up with the work, as long as you're self-motivated to keep up with the work. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day.